It's the 20th anniversary of Bleach, the manga, apparently, and they released this version of Volume 1 with, I guess this is original art from the Shonen Jump releases back when, the chapters were first coming out. And I've never read it. So I'm at least going to read Chapter 1, or Volume 1, which is chapters, I'll tell you, 1 through 7. And I'm going to record my reactions as I go. So let's go. So right off the bat here, in the very first page, there's a note from the author that I feel like reading. Hello there. You are now holding the very first volume of Bleach. I worked really hard writing it. Please treat it kindly. Sincerely, Tite Kubo. I may be saying his name wrong. This was the author's second title. His debut was called Zombie Powder, which was a 4-volume series, and I've never read that. So, onward to Chapter 1. We fear that which we cannot see. Chapter 1, Death in Strawberry. I think Volume 1's name appears to be Strawberry and the Soul Reapers. Yeah. So I just finished Chapter 1, in which we get introduced to the whole premise and the main character. Ichigo Kurosaki, Strawberry. I guess he has orange hair. He's 15. His eyes are brown. He's a high school student. And by the end, he's a high school student and a Soul Reaper. So basically, so far, this chapter does a good job sort of introducing his main power, at least initially, which is that he sees dead people. He can see dead people. Dead people. And, well, ghosts, but dead people. And his family's aware of it, and apparently at least his father's upset that he doesn't get it. So maybe it's like an inherited thing. I didn't really catch if they get into that. And there's another character who doesn't reveal her name immediately, who comes in, who is a Soul Reaper, who is going after, well, she's there to help basically good spirits get to where they need to go, and bad spirits she's there to eliminate. And she has shown up because she's detecting a bad spirit, but is having trouble detecting the bad spirit. And it turns out that is because of the spirit power inherent in our main character here. Well, they do eventually, of course, find this bad spirit, and she gets hurt to the point where she has to pass her power, part of her power, to him, and he ends up taking all of it somehow. And he's some unique thing that she's never seen before. Of course, he's never seen a Soul Reaper before either. And he takes care of the bad spirit who is after him, and in the process of coming after him, at least hurt his family. So it's a good introduction, good first chapter. It did a lot, and I imagine it just gets more interesting from here. But you can see, of course, why this kept going. It has one of those, very creative, interesting manga premises, and the art and the story here deliver. The art's actually really good in spots, but in general, really good. I sometimes do have trouble following some of the action panels in manga, but I'm getting better at it, and these were mostly pretty easy. There's a lot of yelling and everything, but once again, when you're reading the manga, you don't have to hear it that way, so it doesn't bug me. And this is a case where I've never seen the anime, so this is all totally new to me. So, anyway, onward to Chapter 2. Chapter 2 complete. What was it called again? Starter. Chapter 2 Starter. Well, things definitely continue to be interesting. I like how it is slowly developing. I guess the big thing is whether or not Ichigo, if I have his name right, it'll stick eventually, is going to decide to continue to do this. And then Soul Reaper lady, whose name is not stuck with me, Kuchiki, Rukia Kuchiki, shows up in his school, and is going to try to make him do her job, which he takes the first step in. So we got kind of the hollow of the week or chapter vibe going. So far so good. Nothing major to mention that I noticed otherwise. So onward to chapter 3. Chapter 3, Head Hitting, complete. Another chapter. Ultimately another hollow appears, although hollow escapes. Turns out you can recognize hollows. I didn't catch... I guess if you don't kill them with one hit, somehow they can be recognizable. I haven't really catch why that's caught. I haven't caught why that's the case. Or I missed it, I guess, maybe. But it turns out to be one of Ichigo's classmates who likes him, Orihime Inoue. I don't know how to pronounce that, but her brother, who had died in the past, became a hollow apparently, and is attacked Ichigo. They also showed Orihime's bruising on her leg, and she keeps getting hit by cars. I'm imagining that her brother's hollow has something to do with this as well, but I don't know. Let's continue to chapter 4. Chapter 4 complete. Why do you eat it? A fair question at times in one's life, for sure. So we learn that hollows initially go after their immediate family, or the ones they love the most, and they eat their souls. Hence why you hear things like widows or surviving spouses dying soon after each other. That's the explanation. So anyway, yes, Orihime's brother is after her, and those bruises are likely from him somehow not getting her before, yes, or from another hollow, which doesn't make sense. So from him, I would guess. And then that builds to a attack scene that Ichigo intervenes on, and while this fight has not quite concluded, assuming Orihime survives, which is not clear at the moment if she will. I assume she will, but she's now seen this, so we'll see if she remembers this and how it develops. And I'm going to move on to the next chapter because things are clipping along now very quickly, and I want to keep going. Be right back. That was chapter 5. Binda, I don't know what that means. Anyway, so basically the fight continues, but before that quite kicks in, you get a cool scene with Orihime and her brother, whose name we find out is Sora. You get them having a conversation, which is actually pretty interesting, and you get to find out how Sora's soul goes hollow over time, basically, and he's, blaming Orihime's friend, whose name I can't think of, and Ichigo as well. So then the fight continues, and I think at the end of this, it's sort of the fight gets going again at the end. So we got to keep going to find out what happens. I'm going to come back. I may finish the last 2 chapters just to finish. But we'll see what happens in the next chapter. If I got something to say, I'll stop. Be right back. Okay, that's chapter 6, Micro Crack, and the fight gets finished. And Sora gets saved, and I guess it turns out that even quote-unquote destroying hollows is really cleansing them and allowing them to move on. But what happens here is Sora sort of repents and really becomes more of himself and chooses to pass on and allows it to happen. So I don't know if, that's obviously not what we've seen so far from Hollow, so I don't know if that distinction means anything, because they pretty much seem to say that it doesn't. I can see how choosing to go this route makes the Hollow thing a little bit more interesting in terms of finding out who they are and what their story is, and maybe seeing if you can get them to voluntarily move on, right? So that works. And then, of course, the thought I had about, now that Orihime has seen this, what's she going to think? No, there's a memory spell or whatever that Rukia can do that she also did on Ichigo's family earlier. So that makes sense and is not unexpected at all. All right. I feel like we got through an arc-ish there, a mini arc within the arc. And one more chapter left in this volume. That's going to be chapter 7. Let's do it. Chapter 7, which clearly starts the stage for what's to come in the next volume. So, very good so far overall. I'm enjoying this. I think I'll keep reading it. Should I? Well, I'm going to keep reading it. I think I'll keep making videos on it, but since I bought this volume, I figured I'd try a video and see how it goes. So if anyone watching this would like me to keep going here as well as with the One Piece stuff, let me know. Obviously, lots of Rippaverse stuff coming up, and movies and things as I watch them. So have a great rest of your day, night, morning, noon, or whatever. I'm going to go to sleep because I'm obviously overtired. See you next time.